intelligence behind it. And in order to appreciate the intelligence, it's to your advantage to understand a little bit of the language that is actually used that created that intelligence. So there are four basic areas we're going to explore. One is called time and space. We're going to look at time and space, and I'm going to expect you to understand how time and space get merged together by the great thinking of Albert Einstein when he came up with the notion that time and space should be merged together, and how through a simple geometrical idea, which is nothing more than the geometry that you learned in high school, and I know you know this formula, Pythagoras, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so if you know that, and one other little mathematical trick I'm going to throw at you, once you get these two things done, you'll be able to understand it all. I think. I'll try. And you can always ask questions. So, the next thing is some elementary math. I mean, once we go on through time and space, we'll look at some elementary math of quantum physics. Some of the basic ideas as to how they fit together to make up what is called Feynman diagrams. How things get created. Creation and annihilation. The whole kit and caboodle of what the dance of Shiva is really all about at the most fundamental level. The third idea is to explore this at the level of what are called quantum fields. That is, how the universe is not made of things, but it's made of fields that fill the whole universe. And these fields are bubbling like the witch's cauldron. And the bubbles that come out and disappear and come out and disappear are the so-called particles of matter. Right now, inside of you, the same processes are going on at your deepest level that happened in the early universe. The Big Bang's going on in you. And you're connected to it all the time, all the time, all the time. Creation and annihilation is constantly going on. But it averages out to more or less, I don't care. I just want to know where the next restaurant is. Or, you know, how much do I have to eat or not? Or does she love me or does she not love me? You don't care about all this bubbling up and spontaneous creation and annihilation that's going on inside of you because you're only interested in the average variance. And then you start to get skeptical. You think, well, it's really, it's so boring. Life is so far from boring that it's insane when you look at what's going on inside the universe to think of it as something boring. It's an insanity. It's a peculiar thing we have of defeating ourselves because we're so creative in our ability to create the universe around us. And finally, the fourth part is the most speculative. Most of these first three parts are pretty much standard stuff. Now, most physicists would even agree with me, which is not always the case. The fourth part is the mind of God. This is where I'm going to speculate and use what I explained to you in the first three parts to show you how in all of this, in the universe itself, there is a mind present. I mean, mind, a thoughtful, intelligent presence. Why it must be here, how I think it arises, and what it's doing, because it is doing something. And we have to figure out what we want to do is see how that all works together. So now you've got an idea of what this is going to be about. So let's go on. Tricks of the trade of a time magician, which I guess I would consider myself to be, I guess. What? Did you say something?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't say a word.
Fred. Somebody saying Fred.
No,
Fred.
telepathy.
The voice of God is speaking.
Yeah, right. Fred, go up to the mountain, Fred.
Right. Okay. So first of all, let me just go through. I already gave you a brief synopsis. Let me go through it again. Time and space are merged into something called space-time. And everything comes from enlightened mind. That's what we're going to see in the first part of the workshop. Now, I put a picture here of Krishna speaking to Arjuna, explaining to Arjuna the mystery of time. And that's what I want to try to expose to you what that mystery is all about. And the thing that Arjuna finally begins to see from dealing with Krishna is that it's a mistake to only identify with the particular self-personality that you have at this moment. Because that mistake is what keeps you from seeing that you are actually Krishna and not Arjuna. The mistake is the thing that makes matter come up in the first place. Is the same mistake that we make in putting ourselves as being separated, like separate particles. Turns out particles are never really separated from anything. So we're going to carry on with that idea.